Athanasia has been working in the sock factory for 15 years, but her life and job security have changed dramatically since the crisis. She's seen production slashed and colleagues laid off. Things got even worse in the summer when the banks closed and the money supply dried up. Business remains extremely weak, and from one day to the next she doesn't know if she has a job.
During July and August, I was constantly in fear that the factory would close. We were obliged to take holiday leave. We didn't know if our clients would continue with their orders or would cancel them. The banks were drip-feeding us money. It was a torture for my family, for me, and for my employer, because he couldn't pay us.
The family-run factory in Athens opened 60 years ago. Pavlos, who took over from his father, says it used to operate around the clock. Now it's down to 8 hours a day. The workforce has fallen to 10 from a peak of more than 50. Production, which requires imports of raw material, ground to a halt during the summer banking crisis. Now the staff are facing more enforced leave later this month.
We had new threads that are not produced in Greece. With the cotton we had no problem, but some more modern threads that come from Italy, we couldn't bring them, so our clients finally won't have their orders. But we will have to close again soon and stop production for 10 to 15 days until we have new orders so we can work again.
It's not just a cash flow problem. Sales have plummeted because of the crisis and, more recently, tax hikes linked to Greece's bailout. Athanasia has 3 children, and her retired husband's pension has been further reduced in line with new cuts, more of which are expected soon. The family struggles to pay for food, let alone mounting bills.
I would go to the bank to get my money, 60 euros. It was as if it had disappeared from my hands. I felt like I was working for nothing, like I wasn't being paid. I was going to the supermarket, and it felt like my money melted away. And my husband, who's a pensioner, gets less and less money every month. This month his pension was cut by 80 euros.
Athanasia's eldest daughter studies in Crete, and she has to send her money every month. Her 26-year-old son works only 5 hours a day in a computer company and cannot afford to live on his own. Still, his meagre income helps the family. Athanasia says her life is a sacrifice so her children can have a better future, even though they themselves have stopped hoping.
The VAT increased on everything. I know because I have a child who studies in Crete, and I send her food. Clothes, shoes, everything. If something is broken at home, we don't fix it anymore. My refrigerator is hanging by a thread and I don't fix it. Our TV is broken, but I won't pay 400 euros to buy another one, because the money will be missed somewhere else.
Under the blazing midday sun in the vineyards of Markopoulo near Athens, labourers pick the grapes of the September harvest. The wine industry is among the hardest hit by recent reforms. Winemakers need barrels from France, bottles and additives from Italy, and corks from Portugal. But the imports were frozen this summer, unlike the bills and debt. Winery owner Anastasia says that the last couple of months were unprecedentedly tough. Against the odds, she's struggling to keep the business going and to pay her employees.
The payments to and from the state were frozen for more than 2 months. We've resumed paying now, but the tax bills are becoming more and more expensive. We've received a far higher income tax bill than last year. We have to pay our suppliers first and our employees. We will try to survive, and then the state can have its money. Paying state bills is the least of the priorities for this and other Greek businesses.
At this metal shelving manufacturer, the orders fell away when the banks closed. They began to pick up after a month, but the company still had many challenges. In the face of flatlining business, increased taxes and an uncertain future, the managers and employees coped as best they could, sometimes joking about Greece leaving the Eurozone.
Most
of our orders froze. We were thinking that we'll somehow overcome this obstacle and go back to construction, because we're a construction company. But, of course, we had to find out how we're going to get paid and pay our own people. There was a sense of humour in transactions with clients and suppliers, that tomorrow we'd go back to the drachma. There was this kind of humour.
During the summer, under the terms of the bailout deal, the Greek economy received the greatest single shock of the crisis. Many small and medium-sized businesses didn't survive, and unemployment surged to a record 25%. Now Greece, economically and politically, is on hold until the snap election of September 20th. But Greeks are under no illusions that their problems will end there.
Political parties have to work together to find a way, even with this third set of reforms that we all condemn. But they have to be implemented to get the country out of its difficulties.
These elections? No, I think things will get worse, not better. So we have elections again, and more uncertainty. And of course, sales will fall further, and everything else as well.
As a people, we have shown that unless things hit rock bottom, we don't change anything easily, neither in our ancient history or today. We have to reach the bottom of the barrel so we can push our way back to the surface.